Why, hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to PlayFrame, and welcome to the start of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, where we are entering the time. And as ordered last time, I'm going to enter my favorite time once I figure out what my favorite time is. What's a time that I like? I feel like I often hit my stride in terms of like energy and like creative enthusiasm. Like I'm generally feeling at my best probably right around like 11 or so in the day, I feel like. I'm going to go ahead and say that that is my favorite time. Like evenings also nice, but this feels like a pretty good time of day. Confirm. 11 a.m. Your favorite time of day. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? No, this time I assure you, it is not 11 a.m. After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 11 a.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 11 a.m.? It's pretty inaccurate, I gotta say. Like, it's not the most inaccurate. It's not 11 p.m. But it's definitely closer to that than 11 a.m. I'd say, accuracy-wise, right around here. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Can't wait. Sorry about my voice, by the way. I don't think I'm losing it. I just sound like this for whatever reason. I recorded some Final Fantasy VII episodes earlier today. I guess doing the voices was too much this time for some reason. Whatever. At least I'm playing a game here that talks for me most of the time. Begin game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
No, we were good, thank you. So. Office is back to normal. Still empty, though.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ooh.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Wonder what we should do this time. Other than turn off all the computers. Guys. Come on. Were you raised in a barn? This seems like even new content to me. How thrilling.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign.
I did.
Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Heck yeah, let's see it. I'm sold. New content. New content.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh. Well, that's exciting.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Well, that is exciting. See, all this new stuff is why it seems like every time I hear about this game, people say, it is a remake, re-release, kind of, but it's also like a successor, sort of. Like, there's a lot more to it now. And I see very much what they mean. The end is never the end again. 427. Emphasis on the 2. Ooh, an investor showcase. That'll be good. Let's go see the investor showcase.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Boy, you are excited, huh? Well, I love your enthusiasm. Photos, office painting D. I feel like maybe we should full screen these, huh? It was really funny, actually. Ooh. Well. No one's written anything on them, and they don't seem to be art that I can decipher, but it's fine. Ooh. Just the 2 of us. We can make it if we try. Just the 2 of us, just the 2 of us, just the 2 of us. Building castles in the sky, just the 2 of us, you and I. That's the music they'll use for the trailer, I bet. For this hot new sequel. They're back, the 2 doors. You love them. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Boring sections of the chart, cool red section of the chart. New hotness, old and busted. One, more the Stanley Parable. 2, better Stanley Parable. Win, win. Sequential mind share. Paradigm shift, synergy, brick and mortar approach, envelope client-centric marketing, the color red, leverage holistic value. Those are 3 words. Thanks for attending my meeting. Loving the logo experimentation. Very good stuff. Two of the ferns. Keep them in mind. Oh, dear.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them.
Oh, sure.
It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Kind of true. Meeting plan. 9, scrum. 10, design pitch. 11:30, break. 11:35, pitch design. 12:02, number 2, chat. 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 arms, 2 legs. Who took the red marker? Me. I'm loving how much they've committed to exploring all the possibilities of sequel, poster, and logo design. Why is the mouse in the middle of the screen? Okay. Sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2, City, Divinity Original Sin 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar, Dark Souls 2. Most of those are great. Valued investors, this way to the show floor. New features! New content. It's quite a show. Got to impress the money people.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Oh my. I'm excited to do this. Hear your name in the game. Exclusive, the button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. That's new. Now this I must see.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
That is wonderful. I'm excited about it. The road to the perfect button. Too big, too small, just right. I'm Agatha, or Jim, Agatha, Bob. Oh, it's just a whole lot of names. And all the rest. She-Ra's even in there. Just in case. You never know. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. This should be good. Try it here.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it.
Okay,
here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim. Sleeping and waking as Jim.
Okay.
Falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim. Seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
I think so.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Okay.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Okay.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Oh, boy. This does feel sort of familiar. With early game development.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
True. The button that says Jim. That's Jim. You heard Jim in the game. Why is this one smaller? Well, it's giving a thumbs up, and that's nice. Please, no screenshots. A whole new office. Red is the new orange. The new, updated, ray-traced, more of the same, but in a good way sequel to the... New features, new content, new ideas. The button that says the name of the player that's playing the game, i.e. Jim, that way. Jump circle this way. Now, I'm somewhat familiar, I think, with the jump circle. And can I just say I'm a fan? Merch! I saw the new content. I would wear some of these shirts. This t-shirt is the best new feature. It's very good. Office decorations that way, infinite hole that way. Let's see about the jump circle. Whoa. Or, hang on, This also looks intriguing. Oh, it all looks so intriguing. What is this? Oh.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting.
Oh.
You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
I'm sold. Gimme.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they?
They do.
All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
You know, I do feel a little better. Good bucket. I think I'll keep it.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Let's see office decorations in the infinite hole.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Tough pick. Oh, you are actually asking me to decide. Get Well Someday or Happy 12th Birthday, stepniece. Tough choice. I do love the specificity of this one. There's not a lot of occasions for this particular balloon. This one could work in many a scenario for many a person. Not so Happy 12th Birthday, stepniece.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
That's fair.
Or actually,
you were right.
maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Okay. Me and the bucket are ready. My. What's back here? Time versus depth. Distant space-time, distant past, falling, distant space-time, distant future, time-like infinity, hole-like infinity, space-like infinity. Opening, grim, depth, infinite, surrounding area. I'm not entirely following the intent behind the infinite hole here. Narrator, it just keeps going, huh? Yeah, I suppose it do. Care to explain?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Neat. Cool. Should I? I was kind of excited to see the other features, but, whee!
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
In a minute. Let me just...
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
You think so? I don't know.
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
That's fair.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
You got a deal.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
And I can't wait to see them. I must encourage you to change the signage on all this infinite hole display, though, just for legal reasons. We don't wish to falsely advertise. Otherwise, top tier near infinite hole. Would fall again. Free, new, and easy achievement. I can't believe it's that simple. Get it here. Well, I have achievement notifications turned off because usually in most games they're annoying, so I suspect there's a joke here we're about to miss. Free achievement. Get yours now. Pull the lever. Receive your new achievement. No more steps. It just works. Get yours right now.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
All right, I'll go turn them back on for a second. Hang on. Okay, we're back. And achievements are probably back on, I think. I'm pretty sure. We'll find out, huh? Test achievement. Not yet achieved. Well, here goes nothing.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Well, okay. Dang. Maybe next time. Doesn't seem like there's much else back here. I think I'm gonna go back the other way. Yes. There were lots of other exciting displays.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Ooh, jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well.
I'm afraid so, yes.
I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Aw, come on. Dang. Got to appreciate what you have.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Right, yes. Sorry, I think we had that line already. I had to... In turning the Steam overlay back on to make sure it was working, I closed the game and reopened it, not realizing I was going to have to run back from the beginning to this point, so I repeated all the steps and got back here, which I suppose makes it even funnier retroactively that the get the achievement lever didn't work. Anyway, not really looking for an epilogue just yet, exactly. Unless, is that a thing that is promised in the sequel?
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
I look forward to it. So does Bucket. Settings World Champion. The mostly infinite hole, yes, of course. Free achievement doesn't quite live up to the hype, but I'm sure it'll be better once done. Settings World Champion, huh? Oh, come on. I wanted to see that one. But we haven't checked out collectibles yet. Let's see about it. Can you find them? Collect them all! Whoa.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Whoa. The coveted collectible. Give. Ooh. 1 out of 6. I'll have to keep an eye out, I suppose.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Kind of yes in a way. In that having a good reward for a thing then makes lots of people feel like, I don't want the collectible, but now I do want the reward, so now I guess I have to do the thing. That is the tricky part, I guess. I think we've seen all of the displays. I think. Let's check the Expo Hall guide. The jump circle, check. This map, check. Free achievement, The button that says the name of the player that's playing the game, Merch, Settings World Champion. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket, Office Decorations, Epilogue, Collectibles, Infinite Hole. Did we see Office Decorations? Oh, that was the balloons, right? That was the balloons, yes, of course. Epilogue also seems cool, but wasn't really working. Neither was the Settings World Champion thing. Still kind of wondering about the Settings World Champion thing. I'm gonna check that door one more time. Because what if? Man, Fine. Well, I'm very excited for what this sequel will be someday. It's quite a lot of hype you've built up. Look at all this good art.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
I think so. All this marketing material seems very expensive. No screenshots.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Alrighty. Hit me.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Ooh.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Yeah. Oh.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
I suppose.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, insert a few of my new features into it.
Oh.
Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
That's pretty good. Compelling. I like it. Begin game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Is this the same?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
I don't know if those balloons were there before. I don't remember.
His job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Don't mind if I do.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
It could be that we're still ongoing with the previous route we were on, but I'm also wondering if perhaps we have actually started a new cycle, but it is updated now. Now that we understand this game's true identity. Ooh. Yes.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I feel better. Comforted. Ready for anything this game might throw at me.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
With this bucket, I'm ready for anything.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Bucket, I didn't realize how much of a character you were going to become.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
I'd forgotten to mention it earlier when we were pressing the gym button. The player name in the game thing.
Being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
This bucket does make everything feel like it's going according to plan.
Perhaps this was when... But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
You're the boss, Bucket. But yeah, like, that was actually a thing in kind of the demo versions of the game. When in 2013, when the Stanley Parable was coming out, Davey and William, the folks behind it, did something really clever where they sent out codes to various Let's Players and streamers, because like Let's Playing was just kind of picking up a lot of steam right around then. Like it hadn't blown up nearly as big as it is now, but there were some Let's Play channels that were starting to become a pretty big deal. And they did a really clever thing where they sent out demos to these different channels that were custom made so that the narrator would, at some point early on, directly call out the names of the players, and they would not see that coming. So like over on the Game Grumps channel, the demo was sent to the Danny and Ross who do Steam Train. And so the narrator said sometime early on, I was like, oh, welcome to Danny and Ross to the Stanley Parable demo. What a cool little clever surprise that was for them, but it also just made the game seem all the more special to anyone they were showing it off to. It was a really kind of brilliant little marketing touch. Especially in a time where just you never saw stuff like that. I still don't really see much stuff like that. It was so impressive, I still remember it now. I will follow the will of the bucket.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Sure, why not?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Is this... It's basically the same version of the game, but with different dialogue reflecting whether the bucket is there. Well, we have to check.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy, it's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket.
This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
What?
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient?
How dare!
That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never.
It's true, but you don't have to say it,
Lay
closet.
into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point.
Yeah.
Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
It's starting to sound like work. Maybe I'll just leave the closet. To its bitterness. Anyway.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all.
Wait.
Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Loser. Now where were we?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Okay. Here we are.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
Of course. Me and Bucket. Together forever.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I mean, give me another theory. You can't? Trust the bucket. Believe the bucket. Oh. Mine.
Found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I will. Feels good. Come along, Bucket. Let's ride the elevator.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Soothing.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Well, this bucket works.
The The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the Bucket both wondered to themselves.
Don't worry, Bucket. Big TV room can't hurt us. Not while we are together.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the Bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The Bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Did they add alternate Bucket variants for every line in the game, I wonder? Because I didn't have to take this route, I could have taken the Bucket anywhere.
Was the Bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
No, you wouldn't.
Had the Bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a Bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
I would never doubt you, Bucket.
No! He screamed into the Bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the Bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the Bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the Bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the Bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the Bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Yeah, tell him, Bucket. What's this? Does it do anything? I don't really know if these buttons do anything, but now I see a 3. Is there perchance a 1 and a 2? 1. 2. And 3. Where's 4? 4. Oh, are you up there? Oh, I bet you are. You just give me a minute. Me and Bucket here are going to be up in just a... Oh. We might not be able to get up there to 4. Rats. Opportunity missed, I suppose. Oh well. Come along, Bucket.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the Bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Then again... Well, I was tempted to do a different thing, but I'm curious to see what happens ending the game a way we've done before, but with the Bucket. Because everything else along the way has been kind of different.
Stanley and the Bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the Bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy.
Yay.
Freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The Bucket wanted to learn to roller skate.
Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
Hey.
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, will go to any lengths not to part with the bucket.
You can't have it.
No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Me and the bucket together forever. It's not so bad. Anyway, I was just gonna move on after this one more episode, but I am enjoying seeing how much more to this than I thought there was. So heck with it. Let's do one more next time. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you next week for more of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe or the Stanley Parable 2, depending on your preference. Take care. Goodbye.